Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you're new, I like to make these little videos about things that I enjoy and I want to share, typically about film, but not exclusively. While you're here, if you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing and hitting that little bell icon down in the corner so you get notifications for when I put up new content, which is usually once or twice a week, though occasionally I'll throw in a third. If you enjoy this, go ahead and check out my back catalog as well. You may find a few other videos that you enjoy. And be sure to share both this video and this channel around, as it really does help out the channel quite a bit. Well, now that that's out of the way, I've been working my way through a couple different franchises. And about 8 months ago, I started going through some of the Hammer films. And now I'm up to the point where I've been checking out these Hammer Dracula films starring Christopher Lee. So I've been enjoying them overall for the most part. It's been interesting to kind of see where a lot of this history had kind of begun with him becoming so popular for playing the Dracula role. So tonight I watched the latest entry for me, which was Taste the Blood of Dracula from 1970. So in this one, where we left off last time, Dracula had been staked and died, and I was interested to see how they're going to bring him back. So the way that they brought him back in this one is a character played by Roy Kinnear, who happens to be the father of Rory Kinnear, who's from Penny Dreadful and Black Mirror, as well as many other things as well. He comes across Dracula as he's dying and somehow gets his blood, which had turned into dust, his cloak, like a medallion of his, and his signet ring. And then it kind of flashes forward a little bit into the town, where basically we have this interesting situation where there are these elite men, kind of like these rich guys, kind of bored with life. They're spending their time at this brothel and everything, and they come across a man who they're kind of confronting to the fact that they heard he was into like black magic or something along those lines. He had been disowned for attending a black mass. So this man offers them a proposition that he can give them something better in life since they are getting bored with whatever. So he has them kind of interested in possibly selling their soul to the devil and doing this little ritual and everything. Part of this was him getting those Dracula-related items from Roy Kinnear's character and then doing this big ceremony to sell their souls to the devil. So during this, he ends up drinking the blood of Dracula and dies, and the rich men kind of freak out and go their separate ways. But this reincarnates Dracula. And now Dracula's on the loose, but he sees that his, kind of like his servant, the one who was arranging this whole black mass at this old church that was converted into like a satanic temple, he sees that he died, and he holds these men responsible and decides to basically get revenge on them. So he's going after them through their daughters and other family members to kind of enchant them in a way, and it's really just like a revenge story for Dracula as he's working his way through it. So there were some spots of it that were a bit slow, kind of muddled, wondering where they're going to go with it. Christopher Lee doesn't really show up at all, besides seeing like a quick, replay of how he died at the end of the last film. It's about 45 minutes before he even shows up again, and even then there's not a whole lot of him until toward the end. I feel like he pops up here and there, but I think, as I probably mentioned in another film, is that I've gotten kind of spoiled. I just want to see him right away to see how he does with it. But another thing that I kind of noticed about this was it was a bit more risque, the fact that they're actually at this brothel and everything. It's a bit darker, too, just the fact that they even have a satanic temple in a movie like this. It really feels like they were making some changes with the film as they were getting into the 70s. So it did have a bit of a different feel, but, and ultimately Dracula gets defeated, and he's rotting again in his dust, and it'll be interesting to see how they bring him back the next time. But, it was an okay film. It wasn't great. It's definitely worth checking out, though, if you're interested in Christopher Lee Dracula stuff, to kind of see where it goes. I think it flowed all right. It had its hiccups here and there, but overall, I'd say it was just an okay movie, worth checking out, but not one going out of my way for. But with all that, that's really, unfortunately, about all that I have to say about this one, and this is why I think what I'm going to do going forward, I mentioned this earlier, was doing several of these films for one video, because sometimes there's not as much to talk about because they're following some formulas that we like. There's not too many changes. So all those differences here and there aren't really enough to fill up a whole video. We're only at about 5 minutes even on this one. But anyways, I am going to continue to make some more of these. I got a few more in this set before moving on to some of the Frankenstein stuff and some of the other films that they have to offer. And of course, I still have some of the old Universal films that I want to revisit some of those, or visit some of those for the first time in so long. It feels like the first time. So with that, thanks for coming by. Be sure to listen to all that YouTube stuff and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notification for when I put up the next video, which, since this is a short one, I'm hoping to have another one up in another day or two. But anyways, thanks for coming by, and I will see you in the next one.